What's going on, guys? Marcus Crockett back with another video. Guys, so listen, I just came across this video, and this video is a prime example of what I've been talking about. When we start our companies or when we're growing our companies, there are some areas where we can kind of cut corners, right? I don't really advise it, but there are some areas like if you want to get maybe like the cheaper solution, or if you want or cleaning products, if you want to get cheaper towels or cheaper mops. I don't really advise it because I believe in getting quality things. They last longer and they work better. But I understand that if you're starting off, budgets are small and you're looking to, just cut those corners. But here's the thing. This is my whole point of me saying this, right? You can cut corners in those areas sometimes, okay? There are other areas where you cannot cut corners, right? And this video that I'm about to show you is a prime example of what it is that I'm talking about. You do not want to cut corners in this area. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show you this video. And after the video, I'm going to tell you, what I did to correct my situation. And, hopefully you can learn from this, learn from what I'm about to tell you, so that when you get into position to start hiring or to continue to hire, that you won't make these same mistakes. So with that said, let's get into it.
Building janitor was accused of a vile crime, and now the details in the case are particularly disturbing.
Court records claim he was caught on camera urinating into a worker's water bottle, spreading an STD, and police believe there may be other alleged victims.
Jason Miles spoke with the employee today. Jason, how did she suspect something was going on?
Well, she says she smelled something and saw something in her water bottle. She eventually decided to set up a spy camera at her desk in the building you see behind me, and that's the evidence that led to the janitor's arrest. Take a look at him. He's identified as 50-year-old Lucio Diaz, currently charged with both indecent assault and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Diaz accused of putting his private part into the alleged victim's water bottle, which she caught after installing a spy cam at her desk. She caught him doing it. The alleged victim's attorney sharing screenshots from the explicit video also shared with police. The 54-year-old mother of two says she only knew Diaz as the man who cleaned the office at night, but became suspicious after noticing issues with her water and wanted to get to the bottom of it. Here's what she says Diaz did with her water bottle while wiping down her desk one night.
Just picked it up, removed the cap, and proceeded to put his penis probably halfway into the bottle, and then he tilted it up so that his penis was surrounded by the water.
Now, most disturbingly, the alleged victim says she came down with a herpes strain the suspect also tested positive for. Right now, Diaz is being held by immigration authorities pending his first appearance in criminal court. Meantime, the alleged victim's civil attorney plans to file suit against the building management and the janitorial service for which Mr. Diaz worked. I reached out to both of those entities, but have yet to hear back today, and I'll have much more on this case and more from the victim coming up at 6.
Wow. Man, that's a horrible situation. But there's really no amount of money. I know they said they're gonna go ahead and do the lawsuit, but there's no amount of money that could pay you back for something like that. That's really unfortunate. But here's the thing. It doesn't sound like the cleaning company. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe they did. Maybe they did do some sort of due diligence. But here's the way my process now looks. I've shown videos before. I've had staff go inside of some of my accounts, take food from the refrigerator, drink the drinks, and act like they didn't do it, and they were caught on camera. Right? There's another video that I show about that. So here's the thing. As we start to grow our companies and we're adding people, because make no mistake, if you're looking to make a significant amount of money in this industry or in any industry, really, you're going to need a team of people around you. So in this particular industry that we're in, You know, the first people to the first part of your team is going to be the ones who come in and do the work. Okay, so you're going to take yourself out of position to, you know, be doing the daily work. You're going to have another set of people, another group of people come in, and they're going to start doing the work for you. So this is what what my situation looks like. Well, you know, first you know, of course we deal with subcontractors. We do still have some W-4 workers. I have to keep saying that. So this is the way our situation looks now. From the time that we are about to start hiring, I'm already starting my due diligence process. And this is the reason why, okay? Aside from the video, right? And what the worst case scenario, what could happen. Here's the reason why. Our business, you know, we start this thing up, we file all the paperwork, we start to grow it. It's blooming. It, in a weird way, it almost feels like one of your kids, like your business, as you start to grow it, because you saw it from nothing, you named it, you did all of this stuff, right? And as it starts to grow, it kind of almost feels like one of your kids. Now, not exactly, but it almost feels that way. That's why you'll always hear people say, "Oh, this is my baby." This is when they're referring to their business, because it almost kind of feels like that in a way. Just like we wouldn't let anyone come in from off the street without doing any type of verification, without checking, without looking into their character. We wouldn't let anyone off the street come in and just watch one of our kids. So we have to look at our business in the same way. We're not going to just let anyone come in and be in our business. Now, I'll be the first one to say that I'm guilty of that. Like, I've made that mistake. I've made the mistake of hiring the first person that came across my desk just because we were growing so fast and I needed to put someone in the business. I needed someone to go ahead and do this work. I've made that mistake, and I'm being upfront and I'm being honest, and I'm letting you know that I made this mistake and I showed you the result of it. And hopefully, you know, you don't make this same mistake. So this is what my situation looks like. From the minute I decide I'm about to start hiring and I have prospects lined up to come in to do interviews, I'm looking at your appearance. I'm looking to see if you appear to be someone who fits into our culture. So are you dressed according to how I would expect someone to be dressed if they're coming to apply for a position within my janitorial, my commercial cleaning company, right? Are you dressed accordingly? Is your appearance clean and upkept? The reason why that's important, because companies hire my company to make sure that their offices are clean and upkept, right? If you have an interview with me or with, you know, whether it's me or whether it's my operations manager or anyone else that I delegate to carry out this interview, if you have an interview set up with us at 2:00 and you call us at 11:00 or 10:00 or even 12:00 and say, "Hey, such and such happened. I'm sorry. Is there any way that I can reschedule? Maybe I can come in a little bit later." That's okay. I appreciate that. I like open, honest communication. We'll more than likely be able to reschedule it. If you call me and our interview is set up for, you know, 2:00, if you call me at, you know, 1:45, "Hey, I'm running late. I'm not going to make it. Such and such happened. Da 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 da." Maybe we will reschedule. Okay, maybe. But if you call me an hour or 2 hours after the interview, "Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. Can I reschedule?" You're going to be that's a huge red flag, and you're going to be blackballed from even being able to apply for our company again. You'll never get a job here. Okay. So that's the first thing. That's this is how my due diligence is set up. This is what I'm doing initially. Okay. After you come in, you do the whole interview. I'm checking your appearance. I'm making sure everything is good. My next thing is I'm going to check and see, are you eligible to go back and work at the job you just left, right? Are you eligible to go back there? So I'm going to ask for a reference, and I don't want a reference from your friend or from your neighbor. I'm not looking for character stuff right now. I'm looking to see if you're eligible to go back and work at the job you were just at. How am I going to find that out? Well, you're going to give me the contact number or tell me the name and I'll look it up myself. Either way, I'm going to cross-reference the number that you give and make sure that it belongs to whoever you say that it belongs to. Now, if I call the owner or the operations manager or the HR manager or whoever it is at the old company, and I ask, hey, is so-and-so eligible to come back and work for you? If they say absolutely not, they are not eligible to come back and work for us, I don't need to know why, right? I don't need to know why you're not eligible to go back. I just know that you're not eligible to go back to work for them. So you're probably not going to be able to work for us. Okay. There's a reason, and I don't need to know the reason. Okay. The other thing, well, if they say, yes, you know what, they can come back and work for us. Okay. Well, now that's good. Now we can move on to the next step. I have staff, or I've had staff who cannot come back and work for us under any circumstance. Every time we post this position, I have staff every single time. Hey, I see you guys are hiring. Can I get my job back? Hey, I see you guys are hiring. Can I get my job back? Because people know when they come and work for us, like, it's a good situation. I don't have a micromanaged type of managing style. That's not how I do things. But that's a different video for a different day. But I have people who, they're no longer eligible. They still want to apply, still want to come back and work for us. But it's not happening. If you're not eligible, you're just not eligible to come back. I do have staff who are eligible to come back. And, for whatever reason, at that point in time in their life, when they needed to separate from us, they found a bigger and a better deal, right? And I'm okay with that. But if in the event where they ever needed to come back, they always got somewhere to come back to. So this is the other thing that I'm looking at. So after the reference tells me, yes, they're eligible to come back. Okay, perfect. Now we got something. Now, if I go ahead and I get that yes, well, now I'm going to run a background check. Okay. I have to run a background check because there are certain things that we do not allow in the company, right? Like if you have any crimes involving children, right? You can't come work here. We have a lot of daycares that we service. And I can't run the risk of, we're not gonna do that. So crimes against children, absolutely no. If you're 30, 35 years old and you had a DUI when you're 21, 22, but you've been, there's no other things on your record, then more than likely we'll give you a chance. Like we don't have a problem with that. Everyone makes mistakes. That was just a bad judgment thing. That's not a character. It's not a character issue. I always say, like, I will always choose character, right? I like employees of good character and hardworking. We could teach you how to clean properly, right? But as long as you have those two things, then you'll be able to work well for us. In this case, with this situation, I don't know what who the company was that hired him. I don't know what their hiring process looked like. I don't know the steps and the levels of the due diligence that they took or didn't take. But I know that, that's not a good situation, right? And I don't want, the reason why I'm even showing you this, reason why I'm telling you all this stuff, because you're gonna have to hire at some point, right? Or you could just stay small. But if you're gonna have to hire, these are things that you're going to want to know, right? And these are stuff that I just had to figure out. So, and again, like my whole purpose is to just shorten the learning curve for as many people as possible. What I would want to see is for everyone who's rocking with me to be able to do the numbers that I'm able to do in way faster, right? If I can take 3, 4, 5 years off of your learning curve, then that's a win, right? I look at it as a win. So this is my whole purpose of doing all of this stuff. And everything didn't just come about just because I'm sitting around and I'm thinking. Like we had to take things and tweak things and move things around and figure stuff out. One of the most, what I will say is this, and this will be something that is, it was definitely eye-opening for me, but it also made me tighten everything up that much more. If you have any type of accounts that involves anything with like the FCC, or government or airports, they are going to their background check. I took on this account. I took it on. This was in the middle of COVID, and they paid great. They paid really, really well, really well. And it was probably only for about, geez, what was it? Maybe like 30 minutes of work, 40 minutes of work, maybe, right? It was twice a week, 40 minutes, and they paid like $4,000, $4,000 a month. I don't even remember what they did, but they did something. They worked for, they were like a third party to like one of the airlines or something, right? They did all of their stuff like got on planes, and so their background check was a little bit, well, it was a lot more strenuous than, you know, some of the other companies, right? They wanted, initially you needed to do your fingerprints, they wanted to see a birth certificate, and they, for whatever reason, they wanted to see a passport. So instead of me, you know, and this was a contract basis. It wasn't an ongoing customer thing. It was just, we need you for the next 6-7 months, right? That's just what it was. And it was quick, so I did it. I did it myself, and it wasn't janitorial. We were actually like spraying, doing the electrostatic spraying. So I ended up doing it. So instead of just like, and the reason why I ended up doing it was because, you know, all of those things that they're asking for, you need the fingerprints. Okay, that's cool. You need the birth certificate. Like, come on, man, that's crazy. And then a passport. Like, a lot of people don't have passports. I've had my passport for a long time. So it was just like, you know what? I'll just do it. I'll do it. It didn't take long. It wasn't nothing strenuous. I had to go up to, you know, that part of the city anyway. So it was no big deal. Now we've had accounts with the military. We've had and their background check is, you know, they do more of a federal type of background check where they, you know, I've done plenty of background checks before, but it's just like those extra things that these other entities do. It's like, you know what, they're doing all of this stuff for a reason. This is why I had to move in the way that I moved, to tighten up my system, tighten up my process, right? So definitely, guys, like, this is something that you do not want to skip out on. You don't want to be cheap. You don't want to, I'll just run a background check for every 3 people, every 4 people, because what happens is you get guys like this who end up slipping through the cracks. So, you know what I mean? Just be mindful of the people that you bring in to your business, the people who represent your business. Be mindful of those people. Make sure that you, you know, you've done everything that you can do to weed all the bad people out, right? Because that guy right there, I mean, depending on the size of the company, who they were, what they were, and what his exact role was, he may have ruined that company, right? And it could have been avoided had you just done a little bit more work, right? Had you spent just a little bit more on an additional background check, you may have been able to avoid that whole situation. But guys, that is it for today's video. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch. Hustlers get into the game so they can win. Guys, I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.